Eastern Mediterranean right through to China, we have what we call the Asian brown haze, a toxic pollutant brown haze of these aerosols, these humid airflow sitting about 4,000 meters above that whole land surface, heating it and aridifying it. And that's enormously, destructive of the biosystems and, of course, dangerous for human health. And we've got to change that. And as we're saying, we've got to change that by removing the source of these aerosols. So basically by land cover, revegetation, so we stop the dust, we stop the burning, and of course we stop these particulate pollutants. So there's again a key area where we, through land management, influence these aerosols, and that influences the amount of water in the air, which influences the climate. So in each of these cases we talk to, there's very simple, natural and effective ways that we, through land management, can influence it, but we've got to understand the connections to be able to do that. Okay, the next part of the water cycle that we want to talk about is actually really quite significant to the climate, because as we've talked about, the climate is regulated by the greenhouse effect, but there's three factors really that drive the greenhouse effect. And we've only ever, in science and in politics in the last 30 years, really looked at one of them, which is, in a sense, the CO2 concentration. But in fact, the dominant driver of the greenhouse effect isn't the CO2 concentration, but it's the amount of energy that's being re-radiated from the Earth's surface back into the air, which drives the greenhouse effect. It's a bit like a stove, isn't it? It's a case of, yes, the CO2 might be the pan on the stove that can absorb the heat, but it's the actual re-radiation from the Earth that is basically governs how high we've got that stove turned up. Okay, now basically how hot the Earth gets governs how much re-radiation is given. That's simple physics.